Hello, welcome to Michelle Sews Again. I'm Michelle. Today I'm going to do a kind of a Friday sews, even though it's on a Sunday, and it's my first time catching up with you guys in quite some time, so I hope you'll stay tuned. Okay, so I just have a handful of things I want to go through. I'll try and make it quick, but I haven't talked to you in a while, so there might be a lot. The first thing I wanted to talk about was we did a sew along for the Project Dress a Girl challenge back in September that's hosted by Mari from Mari Sews. And it was me, Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room, Carmen from Carmen Salome, Trish from Pinky's Farm, Heather from Textile Tailored Thoughts, and then we had a couple of local ladies that joined us, Diane, who lives a little bit north of us, and Crystal, who lives in our general vicinity. So we had a really nice time. We met at our local library, and we all brought our sewing machines, and some of us sewed a pattern that I had recommended because it was super easy. Other people brought a pattern that they had already made and liked. All of them were very simple, but they were super duper cute. And if you don't know about Project Dress a Girl, it is a charity sewing event that Mari hosts every September. And we just get the sewing community together and make a boatload of dresses for little girls that live in extreme poverty. And this actually makes a difference in their lives. So if you are interested in that, then go check out Mari's video. I'll link it up here. And she recaps the whole event, and you'll see how exciting it was and what the final tally was. Great number. Okay, so now I'm going to jump into things that I have made other than the little girl dresses. So the first thing that I made, these are not in order, by the way. I have had a color block leather crossbody bag on my wish list. Back in the day, I had it on a make 9. I don't do those anymore because it's just a recipe for disaster. But I have had one on my wish list to make for years. And finally, I decided to just jump in. I found a pattern that I already owned that I liked. And I jumped in with some sheets that I bought from Natural Life. I will link in the description box the link to that website. They have the most beautiful, colorful, boho-like prints in their sheets and their clothes. I just love that website. Anyway, they had a sale on their sheets sometime last year, and I bought quite a few. And I bought all king size, so I have a boatload of fabric. So I used 1, 2, 3 different sheet fabrics. Yeah, and I made this cute little bag. This is the vignette crossbody from Hold It Right There, I think is the name of the company that designs the bags. Anyway, it's this cute little crossbody bag. You can see it's got a flap. I switched out the snap for a button because I made the button. But it's got the flap. It has an outer pocket that has a slot for credit cards or IDs or whatever. And then the big pocket. And then it's got the middle pocket that has another pocket in on the side. And then when you flip it over, it's got a back pocket. So very cute. I ordered this really super cute iridescent plastic chain strap. And because it snaps on, I can mix and match it with other bags. But this was my test run to see how I enjoyed making the bag. I do think that I will have to alter my plans for my final because this little, I mean, you can see I didn't do a great job there, but trying to do this on leather, I think is going to be difficult. So I think I'm going to modify. I might keep this as fabric and do, I don't know which pieces I will do in leather, but obviously only on the outside. I'll use fabric for all of the inside linings. And then that's my button that I made to put on it. So I think the bag came out super cute. It's the perfect size for me. I don't carry a big bag anymore. I used to carry those big whopping massive things where you couldn't find anything. When I leave my house now, I take my wallet and my phone and my keys and sunglasses. And that's probably about it. So this is actually the perfect size for me. I have bought some leather, and I'll show you that when I get to the what I've bought section. All right, so the next thing that I made, you guys, this came out so good. I love it so much. It is so, I don't know what the right word is. It's just a relief to have made something that I absolutely love, because if you've been following me a while, you know that I've been kind of MIA almost for a year. I've jumped in here and there, but really I lost my Sojo big time. So I'm excited that I went and did the Project G Street event with Madi and Christine from Christine Sews a Lot back in September, because that really got my sewing juices flowing again. And when I came home, I made two things, and one of them was this, and it is this beautiful dress. It's from the Closet Core Cielo pattern. I've made the top multiple times. I've never made the dress, but I had this fantastic printed and embroidered tablecloth from Anthropologie. I bought this last year. If you like Anthropologie, then you know they do sale on sale a few times a year. This was already marked down 50% off, and it was another 50%. They had 50% off their sale price, so it was another 50% off, so essentially 75% off original. It was originally $200. I got it for $50, which for the size of tablecloth it was, for the quality of tablecloth that it was, I got a good deal. So it is a beautiful linen fabric, and I don't know if you can tell, but some of it is embroidered, like this is embroidered, this is printed. And I just absolutely fell in love with the print and had to have it. I didn't know what I was going to make with it when I bought it, but that's okay. I'm sure you can understand. Anyway, I had a work trip. I was going to Ohio. I go 4-ish times a year, and I felt like I needed something new to wear. So I knew I wanted to use this fabric. I knew I wanted to make a dress. I went through my I went through my pattern stash. So I went through my stash hub, and I found the Cielo was one of the options, and I knew I really liked the top. In fact, what I'm wearing is a Cielo top. I didn't even realize that until just this minute. This is one of the several that I have made. This is a Katie Kortman fabric from Spoonflower. I believe this is the cotton sateen, because their least expensive cotton fabric is just super stiff. I've made plenty of things from those, and they're all just very stiff. So this one was a little bit more expensive, and more than likely I got it on sale. And the cotton sateen is actually a really nice fabric. Anyway, back to the Cielo. So I made the Cielo. I am at a point now, because I didn't sew for a year. I used to be a quantity, not necessarily over quality, but I didn't like taking the time for the little details that make a difference, specifically for like fit and things like that. So I'm changed. I'm a changed woman. So I took the time to trace all the pattern pieces out so that I could make an adjustment for a high round back. I used the Cashmerette Around the Curves book. Is that what it's called? That's the one that I have. And I followed her instructions on how to do it. And I ended up with these two darts. I don't know if you can see them or not. Where are they? Yeah, they're here in the middle. Ended up with these two darts that gives it a little bit more fabric so that it fits around the high round neck, and I'm not pulling it forward as much as I usually do. It was a pretty simple adjustment, and it's one that I need. So it's one that I'm going to start incorporating into my makes going forward. So that's the only alteration that I made to the dress. I knew that I liked the fit already of the size that I had been using. I think I've been making a 22. I'll have to confirm that and I'll put it in the notes underneath. What's fabulous about this tablecloth is that it already had this lace border. How gorgeous is that? So I just cut the sleeves on the border and I cut the bottom hem on the border. So it was a feature and I didn't have to hem anything. I think this dress is super cool because of the pockets and the way that the pockets are constructed. This is a whole front piece that is sewn together at the pockets here at the pocket bags. And then you fold it up and you tack it down in the middle and you stitch it down in the middle, you stitch it down on the edges, and then you flip it back out and you've got pockets. So it's a really cool way to sew the pockets. Plus it just looks really cool because it's in the seam line there. Anyway, I've probably talked enough about that, but I did put a fun label on the inside. So here's a picture of me wearing it, and you can see, like, I don't know if you agree, I love the way that it fits. It skims my body. It's not snug at all, but it's not oversized so that it looks sloppy. I think it fits really good. I got fantastic compliments when I wore it for work. And so I'm really pleased with it. And I have every intention of making more versions of that dress because I can see it being made in just a basic cotton fabric and it just being a super comfortable, you know, casual dress. It has fabulous opportunities for color blocking and it's right up my alley. So I'm very excited about making more of those. Sorry, I had to sit. My knee's starting to bother me. I just have a shitty knee. Okay, so the next thing that I made was another Callie shirt. So I have made several of those as well. I was inspired by this image here from Garnet Hill Catalog. I just loved the dress. It looked really comfortable. It was cute. I love the way that the stripes went vertical on the bodice and then horizontal on the hem. And I had this really beautiful linen fabric that I got from the fabric warehouse in Lakeland, Florida. And it's like a creamy beigey base with metallic lurex threads going through it for the stripes. I don't have it here to show you because it's in the wash because of course the first time I wore it, I spilled coffee on it. So it is in the wash right now, but if I don't have a picture already, I'll take one before I upload and I'll put it here so you can see it. I had big boo-boos on that one. That was actually the first thing that I sewed for myself when I started sewing again. And again, I was taking my time. I was making fit edits and because I put in a full bust adjustment and I forgot to compensate for the fact that there is a yoke on the back and the bust dart added, what did the bust dart do? Between the bust dart being added and not accounting for the yoke on the back, I did not cut the length long enough. I was going to make the dress, so it ended up being a shirt. So it hits me, it's like a tunic length. It hits me right below the hip line, which is where I like my shirts to hit. So it's fine. I just really wanted that dress. So I'll have to keep that on my to-do list. But the problem with that fabric, and I think it's because of the lurex threads, is it's kind of stiff. I'm hoping that after a few washes, it softens up like you expect linen to be. But it's not the most comfortable right now just because of how stiff it is. So I'm probably, when I wash it, I'm probably going to throw it through a few cycles and see if that helps at all. But the shirt came out cute. It's just that especially the collar is really stiff. So it like bothers my neck. Oh well. And I put some of my beautiful buttons on it. So that made it extra special. Okay, what do I have coming up next? So the very next thing that I am working on, and if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen some sneak peek things. I am participating in the Sew Recreate the Look challenge. Jen from Jen Leg Sews, I forget their names, I'm so sorry, and So Dressmaking, those two host this challenge every year, and it's one of my favorites because I love, obviously, from my last one that I talked about, I love finding a source of inspiration and figuring out how to make it my own. And so here is my inspiration for this challenge. Obviously very me, full of colorful color blocking, and oversized comfy tunic top. I am going to, well, I've already, I knew from the beginning I wanted to incorporate my ice dye somehow. So I have ice dyed some fabric. The fabric that I had on hand to dye, I had gotten it from Dharma Trading Company a long time ago. And it is, I don't have the raw stuff here. It is a cotton voile, and it's super sheer. So I think it'll be okay though. We'll see. I'm gonna flash the pieces to you really quick. So I took about 2.5 yards of the fabric that I had. I think I had a total of 4 yards. I took 2.5 yards of it and I cut it up into 18-inch strips, and then I cut those in half. So I'm not sure if this is really a fat quarter or not, but this is the size that each of the panels are. And then I'm gonna cut out the shapes that I want of these, and then I'm going to sew them together and make a piece of fabric before I cut out my pattern. So this is the first color. It's a reddish with some spots of orange. This is the same color dye, but a different fold. Is an orange. How fun is that fold? I did every single piece as a different fold, unless I did 2 of the same color, and then the second fold is just a scrunch. This is a different orange, so it's a different fold, not a scrunch. And I just do random folds. Like, I don't have an action plan. I just kind of wing it as I'm going. Here is a yellow. Came out pretty pale. I don't know if you can see on here how sheer it is. So I'm contemplating whether or not I should use just a white sheet as a base. I don't know. What do you think about that? That was the yellow scrunched, and this is the yellow folded. This is the green scrunched. You can see different shades of green in there, some blues. This is why I love ice dyeing, because it allows the dye color to split into the original base colors that are used. If I was to mix that powder with water before dyeing, it would just result in a solid color. But because I'm putting the powder on and putting ice on it, it splits the granules so that you see the multiple colors. And it's a surprise every time, which is why I love it so much. And this is the same green, but in a fold. This is a turquoise. Now this one's not going to split because this is a base color that is used in a lot of different colors, but there's going to be different depths of color in here just because of the way that it was folded. And then this is the final color. It is a blue, and it's folded, and you can see it's got some like purples in there and different shades of blue. So those are all the colors that I'm going to use to make my top. I just have to decide if I'm going to sew all of these on top of like a white sheet or line it. I'm not sure what I should do on that. All right, so I also have been making my jewelry. I made some jewelry pieces to wear with that. So this is going to be the pendant. And those slots, I'm going to put some leather cording through the slots. So the leather cording, there'll be like 4 rows of leather cording on top. It'll come out the back and then attach. So it'll just be like a pendant like this. And I just love it. It's got every one of those colors in it, plus some sparkle. And then these are earrings to coordinate. I don't typically go for a matchy set, but I think I would like those together. I think they'll be fun. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to make, I am going on a cruise in November. In fact, it's 34 days from today. Me and my husband and all of my siblings and their families are going on a cruise over the week of Thanksgiving. We're going to Puerto Plata, St. Thomas, Tortola, and Great Stirrup Cay. And I am going to make a couple of the Cielo dresses for that. I want to make a couple of cord sets for that. So this is actually already a cord set. I have some pants that go with this. They're capri length pants. They are the Sinclair Poppy pants, and I love the way they fit. So I've made a couple of pair of those, and I finally got the fit right. Now, that was 2 years ago, so who knows if that still fits right. I made this set as a challenge collaboration with Andra from Andra Makes, and I love it. So again, this is the Cielo top, and I made the matching pants. So I want to make another pair of the Poppy pants to go with this top, which is another Cielo top. And you can tell because it's got the panels on the back. So I made this last year out of a tea towel that I got from Jen, from Today in Jen's Sewing Room. And I love the fringe on the bottom. I extended the length on this quite a bit, so it is a true tunic length. And then I used a thrifted linen orange tablecloth that I got for the sleeves. And that's what I'm using to make the Sinclair Poppy pants to go with this top. So that'll be a cute outfit, I think. So I made this a while back, but I've had the pants cut out since last year, which is unusual for me. I am usually a decide, cut, sew, finish person before moving on to the next thing. So the fact that I've got 2 items that are already cut out, and that just reminded me that I have a second item that's already cut out, ready to be sewn, and it's the square neck top. So because those are already cut out, I might just go for it, because it's too late. It's already cut out. It's too late for me to make any fit adjustments, so I'll just do what I do. But anyway, so the Poppy pants are next on my list because I want them for the cruise. And I also want to make a couple of dresses for the cruise. All right, so that's everything that's next on my list. I want to share with you some things that I've bought. So I mentioned the vignette crossbody bag. So I bought some pieces of leather. They're all beautiful, and so I just bought them, and then I'll figure out which ones I'm using for the bag and which ones I'm using for other things. So this one is a really fun printed, it's just like it's not even an 8x10, I don't think. Maybe 8x10. But look at all those fun colors, and there's a little bit of sheen to it. So pretty. I got the same thing, but in shades of blue. So dark to light blues with the sheen in it. So pretty. And then the same size, but this one is different. This is just a textured, iridescent, opalescent piece of gorgeousness. And then I've got 2 bigger pieces that are a little bit less. These are pretty stiff. Well, this one's not. Yeah, these are thicker. They're pliable, so that I can work with them. But these 2 pieces are very pliable. This one is a gorgeous teal, a metallic teal. And this one is a gorgeous metallic lilac. So pretty. So I have no idea what piece I'm going to use for my bags and what I'll use the other pieces for, but shared that. When I first decided to do the Sew Recreate the Look challenge, and I already had that top picked out, I had not yet decided that I wanted to do ice dye. So I bought this stack of fat quarters that are made out of Indian sari fabric. So look at all those gorgeous colors. So who knows, maybe I'll still make a second one and use these. But yeah, I have that. It wasn't super expensive. I actually got them on Amazon, and they are a very nice, like silky kind of a fabric. We had taken Hercules to get groomed last Saturday, and we went to pick him up. We were early because she runs late often, and she lives near a Goodwill. So she said she was going to be about 20 minutes longer, and I knew there was that Goodwill there. So Michael parked the car. I went inside and just took a quick look around, and I found this really pretty scarf. Super pretty. I love the print, and bonus, it still had the original tag on it, so I know it's never been used. So it's in perfect condition. Don't know what I'll use it for yet, but of course, you know, I love that it's got tassels on it. So I'll figure out something fun to do with that, but I just wanted to share with you that fun piece that I got, and it was only $2.99. All right, and then the last thing that I bought is this vintage embroidered coverlet. I am inspired by a woman. I'll have to find her Instagram because I don't remember it off the top of my head, but she makes these stunning dusters, and most of the ones that she makes are like warm, cold weather ones. So they've got weight to them. She makes them out of vintage chenille bed covers and things of that nature. So I was inspired by that, but I really, like, as much as I love the ones that are made out of chenille, I'm not going to wear that here. I live in South Florida. It's like hot as Hades. So I found a vintage embroidered coverlet that was just made out of cotton. It's almost like a sheet. Now, I love the embroidery on it, but it was like solid white, and the embroidery didn't cover a whole lot of the coverlet. So I decided to dye it. I'll be honest, I'm not thrilled with the way that the dye came out, but I want to show you the embroidery that I was loving so much. So I can take out the dye or reduce it. Here, I'm going to have to back up. So it's such a beautiful peacock. But I don't love the dye as much as I thought I would. So I think I'm gonna take the dye out. You can remove it, and then I'll do something else. But just the solid white was not working for me, and I'm gonna pair it with one of those sheets that I was telling you about from Natural Life, and I'm gonna make the Fiber Mood Molly jacket. So I've made one before. Here's the one I've made before. I love that jacket. I wear it all the time. You can make it lightweight. The one that I have is just made out of 2 pieces of cotton. There's nothing in the middle, or you can put batting in the middle and quilt it and give it a little bit more weight. The fact that it's just 2 pieces of like cotton fabric with nothing in the middle is perfect for me for, you know, on the days when it gets a little bit chilly here. So that's what I want to do with this. I want to put this on the back of one of the sides, and then I'm going to use one of those cute sheets for the other side. And then I'll probably use the sheet to make self-binding because that's how you finish the edges. And I'm looking forward to that. I think it'll be fun. Okay, so that's about it for me. So I do have the cruise coming up. So I am going to sit down and kind of plan out a little bit more than just kind of a thought. I want to plan out like what my wardrobe's going to be to see what I need to make, what I can do, what I have in my closet that I can do with. And maybe that'll be my next video, is telling you about my plans for my cruise wardrobe. So thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate all of those of you that have reached out to me over the last year and telling me that you miss me on other posts. It's just really heartwarming. And I've missed you too, believe it or not. So I'm excited to be back. I do feel like I am energized about sewing again. And so I expect to be making videos more frequently again. So wherever you are, I hope you're having a great day. I'll talk to you soon.